Hey, welcome back to Check Game, man. I'm here with your boy Al Williams,
I'm here with your boy Fats.
and this week we got a special guest. We got Mr. Mo Howard here from Philadelphia basketball, and he's from Philly. He went to high school at St. Joe's Prep. He went to college at the University of Maryland. He wound up having a pro stint with Cleveland Cavaliers, which was then the New Orleans Jazz. So he wound up playing with some big time players, college and high school, and he here today to share a story with us about his basketball experience. He's got some type of relationship with Al. So before we put him on, I wanted to pass it to you, Al, and give us a little update on Mr. Howard.
No, for sure, Fats. It's just one of them things. Is that we got an opportunity to share a game. It's called Check Game. We
Mm-hmm.
talk about a lot. It's going to be an educational piece behind it, man. It's going to give us a lot of knowledge, I'm sure, a lot of storytelling, and again, I think it's our way to give flowers and give back to the people that's before us that paved the way for us, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited. Thankfully, his son Ashley Howard, who coaches at Villanova, two-time champion at Villanova, and people know him throughout this country in that space. But another Philadelphia guy, so put it all together for us. So happy to have a special guest, Mr. Mo Howard. So I was talking about I was going through the class in 1993 with Jason Lawson, Ty Weeks, Mark Jackson, and Rasheed Wallace, and then I'm going all the way back in history, and I go back to 1972 where it actually started keeping all cities. I don't know if they was doing it before that. You could tell me, but you were on there. You remember that? You remember that first team, all
Oh,
city?
uh, no, I don't.
You don't? Let
But
me.
no. So let me give you a little perspective. In 1968 was the first year of the Sunny Hill League, right?
Uh huh.
And prior to that, all the best players played out Narberth, right?
Yep.
So and that was the only place where all the suburban guys got to play against the brothers.
Uh huh.
Okay, so we would go out there and play. But that same year, my ninth grade year, is when they started the Sunny Hill League.
Okay.
Tony San Martino, Tony San Martino's first engagement with the Sunny Hill League was Tony used to drive the brothers that played on my South Philly team from our Narberth games to Sunny Hill games, right? So we didn't have we had Narberth, and then we had strong rec league summer leagues.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so yeah, my junior year in the Sunny Hill League, we won the Sunny Hill League championship, and there were four guys on my team who made it to the NBA:
Who's that?
Andre McCarter,
Okay.
Joe Bryant, Maurice Lucas, and myself. I don't think that's ever been done in the history of Sunny Hill
Yeah.
League.
Yeah. Nah. That's how'd y'all all get on the same team?
So Joe and Andre and myself. So here's my story. I'm from North Philly.
Yep.
I was a hot shot CYO dude. I was averaging 33 a game in the CYO. So when I went to high school, they already had eyes on me.
Okay.
But when the Sunny Hill League started, first of all, there were only 5 teams.
Wow.
There were only 5 teams, and believe me, Al, these were the best players from every team. So they were 13, 14 guys on each team. They were the absolute best player on their team.
Okay.
The best player. They weren't the second best. These was the guys that was taking all the shots, that was making all the plays. They played in the Sunny Hill League.
Okay. Okay.
I go down to North Philly. I'm a ninth grader now. I go down to North Philly. I'm trying out for the team. I'm in the layup line. Before I can shoot a layup, the coach comes up to me and he says, come on, man. You too little. Come back next year. So Fred Douglas, you know Coach Douglas, right?
Yeah.
Coach Douglas
Hold
was
on, hold on for 1 second. Fats, change your mic, dog. Yeah, but it's on something. Oh man. All right. But you said Mr. Douglas, Mr. Howard.
yeah. So Coach Douglas was my JV coach at St. Joe's Prep,
Okay.
but he knew all the Hill people, right? So the day after I got cut, he said, how'd you do? I said, I got cut. He said, well, listen, go down to Marion Anderson at 17th and Christian, and there'll be a tall guy down there with a goatee. He'll be cussing a lot, and there'll be another big guy down there with a goatee. He's the good guy, and it was Claude and T.
Oh wow.
And so they kept me. They kept me, Al. Look, I'm gonna start crying because my ninth grade and 10th grade year, I was from North Philly, and we had to go through gang territories to get to certain places to play. And I used to come from North Philly down to South Philly, running and ducking dudes, trying to get back on the bus to head uptown.
Mm-hmm.
And I did all of that as a ninth grader, and I never got in the game. I never played. I never played. So the next year, I'm a sophomore at St. Joe's Prep. I make third team All Catholic. I go back down South Philly for the Sunny Hill League, and I never get in the game.
Mm-hmm.
I never get in the game. And
Uh-huh.
that was kind of discouraging for me.
Yeah,
Here
yeah,
I was, an all Catholic, and I couldn't play in the damn summer league team. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So the very next year, Maurice Lucas, his sister was a school teacher in the Philadelphia school system, and he came to live with her that summer, and that's how he ended up on our team.
Wow.
But Joe Bryant, Andre, myself, we were all on that South Philly team. Even to this day, like I'm a North Philly dude, but
Right.
even to this day, like people my age, they swear I'm from South Philly.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, we had some dudes. Like people don't notice, we had a dude. He was an all city player as well. His name was Michael Sojourner.
Yep. He's on the first team.
Correct. Michael Sojourner went to Germantown. He left. He went to college at Utah.
Mm-hmm.
He went to Utah for 2 years, and then Michael went to the NBA
Oh, wow. Okay.
after 2 years. Him and a dude from New York who came down here and played in our Sunny Hill League. His name was Tiki Burton, Luther Burton. Tiki left. They both went to Utah. Tiki left early. He went to the ABA, and when the ABA and NBA merged, Tiki went to the Knicks.
Mm-hmm.
But he also played in our summer league. He also played in the Sunny Hill League.
Yeah.
So yeah, we didn't have no McDonald's game. So couple
So,
things.
Mr. Howard, real quick.
Yeah.
Why was it, if you don't mind me asking, why was it so emotional for you right there when you was talking about like going down South Philly and not putting all that work in and not getting a lot of time? Because I look at these kids now in today's generation, you see kids go from all over and they can't all the stuff that you endured. What that makes you, right?
So now I'm gonna start crying again
Let's go.
because I'm riding with you on this, Al, because I see it. And with all of this monetization, parents and players, they looking for instant gratification. And the greatest lesson that I learned those 2 years, I had to wait my turn.
Mm-hmm.
I had to wait my turn. Back in my day, you wasn't good until your old heads told you you were good. We didn't have no scouting services, no rankers, and none of that stuff. The dudes that you went to the playground with, the dudes that watch you develop, the dudes that when only 9 guys showed up in the playground for the pickup, they would say, "Well, come on, you know, um, don't shoot. You get the ball, give it to me. Make sure your man don't score." You
Yep.
know, them was the dudes that we listened to
Mm-hmm.
because we knew they cared about us.
Mhm.
These dudes out here now, like I'm listening to this whole thing with the NIL, how dudes are jumping in, trying to steal these young boys' money. I get it, man. These is poor black boys. They ain't never had no money. These is poor black families. They ain't never had no money. You know, uh, so they might get like $100,000 on this EA deal. And people are saying, yeah, well, I could get you 40. You give me 10, I could get you 40. These is black people ain't never had nothing, man. So they
Yeah.
gonna go for that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you
Yeah.
gotta wait your turn, Al. You
Yeah.
waited your turn. You know what I'm saying? You ain't go to
Mm-hmm.
Villanova and pop right out and be who you became.
Right.
You had to
Right.
wait your turn. And it
Yeah.
just bothers me. And the other part that bothers me is, all of this moving around, all this hopping around. Like that shit wasn't cool.
Right.
That wasn't cool for us. When you moved, like if you went to a school and you wasn't good enough, you didn't transfer, you stuck it out.
Mm-hmm.
You stuck it out. And back in my day, most of the schools, most of the high schools, you went to school with dudes you went to kindergarten with. These were neighborhood schools. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You went to elementary school with these dudes. You went to junior high school with these dudes, and you went to high school with these dudes.
Yep.
And like when you play in sports, sometimes in the beginning you might be better than them, and throughout the process, y'all are still
Yeah.
playing, but they might get better than you. They might
Yep.
pass you.
Yeah.
Man, this shit
You
is
Mm-hmm.
know, so you don't run from that.
Yep. Yeah.
Like the message, the message, the message, my parents would not ever let me come home and say to them, the coach is messed up. The coach said this to me. I ain't playing because blah blah blah. My father didn't play sports, and when I
Mm-hmm.
went to him and I would say, yeah, Dad, I showed up for the Sunny Hill League game and I didn't play today. You know what my father would say to me?
What you
Well, I
say?
guess you got to get better.
Yep. Yeah. Simple
Squeegee
as
was
that.
Squeegee didn't know nothing about sports, Al.
Yeah.
My dad didn't play. My dad couldn't shoot a basket. All he kept saying to me was, "Well, damn, if you gonna play, be good at it.
Yeah.
Be good at it." He
Yep.
never, ever, ever. He stepped to one coach one time in my entire basketball career.
And what was that for?
That was Lefty Drizel. Lefty Drizel, my college coach.
Yep.
So my sophomore year at Maryland, John Lucas, who used to coach the Sixers,
Yeah.
he was my teammate at Maryland,
Mm-hmm.
and where John Lucas and I, as sophomores, they were saying that we were the best backcourt in the country as sophomores. But we were just out there playing. We wasn't clocking that stuff. To make a long story short, like in an effort to stop David Thompson, which nobody could do. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Nobody could. We played a 3 guard offense, and then we had lost to NC State like 7 times in a row. And so the coach decides that he wants to put a bigger guy at the 3 spot and not me. And we're going down to NC State to play them. Mind you, we had lost to them 7 times in a row, and that's the game that the coach decides to take me out of the starting lineup.
Okay.
Okay, and so Alvin, we getting ready to step on the bus to get to the airport, and my father and my brother they drive up on right in front of the bus. And my father gets out the bus, and Coach Drizel and my dad was real cool, you know.
Oh yeah.
So my dad gets out the car, he walks toward the bus, and Lefty has his arms outstretched, and he said to my dad, "Eddie." And my dad looks at me, and he says, "Do I need to say something to this motherfucker?"
Uh
And I said, "No, Dad,
huh.
you ain't gotta say nothing."
Yeah.
The crazy part, Al, is you know, I had my career high that game.
Did you?
I had my career high that game.
What was that? What was the
It
career
was
high?
it was, it was 29.
Okay.
I shot 12 for 14, and it was the first time that we had beaten North Carolina State in 3 years.
And you came off the bench,
I came off the bench, yeah.
so you made the coach look good.
All I'm saying, well, that's what he said. That's what he said. But again, I attribute all of that to waiting my turn.
Yeah.
You know, knowing who I was as a player, um, living to the expectation, not beyond my expectation.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
like 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 people don't really understand the work, Al.
Yeah.
They don't, man. You got there, you were there for a long time. Like when you start telling young people like all the stuff that you did. So I always
Yeah.
say, you gotta do all the stuff that you gotta do, right? And then you gotta do a lot of stuff you don't wanna do.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know what I'm
No, for
saying?
sure. For
And
sure.
nobody ever talks about that. They don't talk about all the stuff you gotta do that you don't wanna do.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So
That helped me too. Like even like raising a family and all like the stuff you got to do what you got to do, but then the stuff that you don't want to do to keep it
don't
together,
wanna
keep
do.
pushing forward. But I look at I'm looking at you talk about your sophomore year, and I was just looking at the game, the NCAA, the ACC championship, and I'm looking at you, and I'm looking at Coach Lucas as sophomore. I'm like, y'all played with such a maturity, and that big stage. First of all, y'all played the whole game.
Yeah.
They, and that's during the tournament, so y'all done had games after game. Y'all played.
That was our third game in a row. That
I'm
was our
looking at
third game in a row.
that's crazy. And y'all played the whole game.
The
You
whole
getting
game.
out on break. You're controlling it. And I'm looking like, but the maturity you played with. You wasn't turning the ball over. You made decisions. You ain't forced nothing. You played with such a maturity as a sophomore. And I think back when I was a sophomore, I was running around like a chicken with my head cut off. So I just I think back to you saying growing up in Philly, the challenges, and you have to go down South Philly, you had to do this. And that led to your style of play and how you were so good as so young on that big stage. So to your point, over hurdling those obstacles, and I know it was more obstacles than growing up in Philly. I know it was during that time, the
Absolutely.
'70s. Well, what are some other obstacles? I know.
Absolutely. Well, so I mean the gang thing was crazy.
Okay.
The gang thing was crazy. So, you go 4 or 5 blocks in any direction and you in another turf.
Mm-hmm.
Um you go across town, like as soon as people see you, they don't recognize you. It was a fight. Like I had to fight like getting home from school. This
Mm-hmm.
was as a young boy, like as a middle school kid. And I was fighting dudes that I saw every day, you
Yeah.
know, because I wasn't in the gang. I mean, for me, when I turned like 14 years old, the badge of courage for me was, the gang dudes would say, he's cool.
He played ball. He cool.
He played ball, he cool. And that was my
Yeah.
pass. That was my pass. And then once I got into high school, you could go to other parts of the city
Mm-hmm.
with that same pass.
Okay.
You know what
Okay.
I'm saying? I mean, I can remember going to other parts of the city playing, and I'm doing my thing. I'm letting people know I'm out here to play ball,
Mm-hmm.
and you out there, you rolling, you're not really thinking about it But then you look around, and there's a lot more dudes sitting on the fence than when you started. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
And I'm talking about like, man, I was in a situation one time, and I knew I was playing, and I looked over at the fence, and it was dudes. It was dudes, Al. And I just kept playing. But while I was playing, I was thinking about my exit plan. My exit
Yeah.
strategy. Like,
I'm gonna get
how I'm
out of
gonna
here.
get out of here. And I'm out there playing, and then there's a brother that I know. We friends to this very day. He walked in. He said, "Yo, that's my man. He gonna walk out of here, and ain't nobody gonna do nothing."
Okay. Okay.
You know, uh,
Yeah.
um, that's why me and him are still tight today, cause he saved my ass.
Yeah.
You
It's funny. We
know,
we was talking to Rashid, and Rashid said the same thing when he's born up in Germantown, but he came down to North Philly, hanging out with Weeks, and he was saying he was going to different parts of the city. I think like 17th, 18th, and Master, and it was some people out there, but he started getting that pass, just like you said. Oh, he
yeah,
played ball. He
man.
cool.
That I
He
mean,
in the
so
school. Yeah.
me and Joe Bryant was like freaking frack. Okay, Joe went to
Hmm.
Bartram. I went to the prep, and my senior year, I had a little car. So when I got out of school, I drive out to Bartram and I pick B up.
Yeah.
And then me and B would drive all over the city, like looking for games.
Okay.
Looking to see who was in the playground. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
That's what we did. We
So, so
we
that was your ace. You
that
and you and
yeah
Mr.
yeah
Bryant.
yeah oh man, that was my dog, man.
Okay.
That was my dog. We were so tight when B and Mr. B, his dad, we called him Mr. B. I called him B.
Okay.
People call him Jelly Bean. People call him Joe. I always called him B. And so when Joe would get into it with Mr. B, he would take out. He would just run out the house and take off, right? So what people don't know was Joe Bryant was a public league champion distance runner,
Oh, really?
really.
Okay.
and so and so he lived in Southwest. We live in North Philly. B would take off. Whenever B took off out the house like that, Mr. B would get on the phone. He called my dad. He said, "Listen, me and Joey got into it. He should be at your house in about 30 minutes. And in 30 minutes, B be knocking on the door." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We was like that, man.
So he would run from Southwest to
To North
North.
Philly. Yup, yup, yup. And he spend the night. He come in, he eat, spend the night. We take him home the next day.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's some of the other things y'all used to do outside of basketball? Y'all used to hang out, party,
Oh man,
just chill
did
and
we?
everything.
Did
Y'all
we?
was
So
okay.
I'm a North Philly dude. I don't know. I'm a North Philly row house dude. Okay,
Yup.
so
Yup.
you go in the North Philly row house basements. Them Johns is low, and B was six
It's
nine. He was
tall.
six
Yeah.
eight, 6'9" then, right? And so we used to go in the basement parties, man. And B, like instead of being hunched over, he leaned backwards.
Okay.
Okay, and he be jigging, leaning backwards. And and the babes loved that. They
Yeah.
they be in line trying to dance with B. They would
Yeah.
be in line,
Okay.
trying to dance with B, man.
Yeah, I was blessed. I was blessed, and I think he changed. He changed my career a lot in high school because he became my high school coach at the Sunny Hill League. So he
Yes,
coached us for the Contra Hocken tournament and then Future
yes,
Stars. And before that, I was. It was similar to you what you were saying as far as I was making all interact teams and I would get down to the Hill League and I couldn't play. They had
yeah,
Reds and everybody playing in front of me. They was the city kids.
yeah,
So I was
yeah.
I was the suburban playing the interact. So when he came and my father told me, I didn't know who he was. My father was like, "You don't know who your coach is, do you?" I was like, "No." He said, "That's Jelly Bean Joe Bryant." And I was like, "All right, who's that?" And then come to find out, he is who he was, played professionally, big star and out of Philly. And I was like, damn. And he gave me a boost of confidence. And I read
Yeah.
one article and he was praising me and Rondell Turner. He had
Rondell
Rondell
Turner.
Turner coming off the bench. Rondell got uh
He was
player of the tournament, MVP of the tournament, and I got like best small man, best guard of the tournament. And when he came, my career took off in high school. It really took off. So I always had the utmost respect for him. What he did for me.
yeah. Well, one of the benefits we had was the Baker League, right?
Hmm.
So, we would go and watch Baker League before the Sunny Hill League even started. We
Okay.
were all children of the Baker League. We go see Earl. We go see Frank Card. We go see Larry Cannon. We go see
Oh wow.
King Scott. We went to see. Oh, see, we grew up. We grew up like reading the Bulletin newspaper,
Okay.
because they always had all the scores of the Baker League, and they would always tell you where the next Baker League game was.
Okay.
So we would go and watch Baker League games,
So
right?
did you have to be a pro to be in a Baker League? Was it
You had to play at least in college.
okay? Okay.
Most of the guys played in college. Some played in the NBA. We had an ABA then, so you had some ABA players. But a lot of dudes played in. So we had an Eastern League,
Yep.
which a lot of dudes played in, and we had an industrial league. So
Okay.
you had big companies, big businesses that had teams
Okay.
that would play all around the state. Okay, so that's funny because I got some crazy Clark Grove stories, man.
Oh,
But
I need to hear some.
okay, here you go. Here's one for you. So when Clark Gross was in high school, he played in the industrial league.
Okay.
Okay, and because he was so young, he had to use a pseudonym, right? Like an alias.
Okay.
And he chose the name Clyde Butler, right? So his coach, they're having practice at Ben Franklin,
Hmm.
and his coach is saying, we're going to end practice early today because there's an industrial league game, and there's this kid I want to see. And Claus says to the coach, he says, "But what's his name?" And the coach says, "Clyde Butler." And Claus says to the coach, "Yeah, that kid ain't shit. You ain't got to go see him. He
Ah.
ain't shit. He ain't shit." So, we watch Baker League games. We watched Baker League games, and then when the Sunny Hill League started, the Sunny Hill games preceded the Baker League games. So,
Okay.
like, I would say, like, in the second year of the Baker League, the pros actually started coming to watch us play
Okay.
before their games. Earl Monroe, Wally Jones, Bill Bradley, all of these dudes, and like if they liked you, they grab you and pull you to the side and talk to you about your game, and you
Okay.
know how
Yeah.
how, how what you could do to get better.
Yeah.
Like, and you have an NBA guy pulling you to the side, telling you this stuff, like just the fact that they know who you are.
Yeah. That
Like
means
just
that's the world to you.
everything, Al. It was everything, man. And if you get two or three guys,
Yeah.
like they
Can't
watching
tell you
you.
nothing. Yeah.
Oh man, can't you right? Can't tell you nothing,
So
man.
who were some of the guys you looked up to coming
Oh,
like before you?
Wally, Earl, Bill Baggett, Sonny Hill could play.
Yeah. I heard he
Sonny
had
Hill could
hops.
play.
I heard he
Uh,
had
Yeah,
hops.
he bang on your ass if you was like acting crazy,
Yeah.
you know. Um, it was a lot of dudes, man. Like who, and I mean, I think part of that was, they would take interest in us because they saw a future for us. Like we just played basketball, man. We weren't, wasn't nobody out there playing trying to be a pro.
Yeah.
You know
Play for
that
the love.
you just play for the love of the game, man. And then once we found out that like you could go to college because you could play, because another thing for us was the Big Five.
Mm-hmm.
So we watched all the Big Five games on TV,
Okay.
and a lot of them were double headers.
Okay.
So you watch the games on TV, and then when you get recruitable, they start giving you tickets to the palestra.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
you 13, 14 years old. After you watching the games on TV, you actually there. So we knew all the city stars because most of the best players from the city went to Big Five schools.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
um, it was
So how
special.
how'd you get how they sneak you out of Maryland? How you ain't stay in Philly?
Well, this is a story that I've never told. Well, I've told it to people. I've never told this publicly, but I'm gonna give it to you because
Ah.
I'm 70 something years old and I don't give a fuck. You feel me? So, um, I went to St. Joe's Prep,
Uh-huh.
and at St. Joe's Prep, the most noted student at the school. You went to private school, where you have academic rigor, and the most popular the most popular student in the school is the kid with the highest GPA. Well, I
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
wasn't that kid. I was just a basketball dude, and my class rank my senior year was kind of low. I finished 202 out of 222,
Okay.
but I had an 83 average.
Okay.
Mhm.
So back then, in order for you to be eligible, you had to have, because my class rank was so low, my SAT score had to be,
Mhm.
incrementally high.
Mhm.
Okay.
So the first time I took the SAT, I got like a 980,
Okay.
but I didn't qualify for a scholarship because my class rank was so low. The
Okay.
NCAA didn't take into consideration back then that you went to a prep school. They had a very
Yeah.
a very hard formula which they adhered to, and so I ended up taking the SAT like 3 times.
Okay.
And there was a guy at Temple, the coach at Temple. There were three of us. There was Joe Bryant, there was Mike Sojourner, and myself. And this guy who was the coach at Temple at the time, one day he came in. He was standing in the forward of McGonigal Hall. When you walk into McGonigal Hall, there's the big
Mm-hmm.
hallway there.
Yep.
He was standing there, and he had these three brown envelopes, and he said, "Y'all are not going to get this. Y'all are not going to predict. So you may as just fill out this paperwork and go to Temple." And like I resented that.
Mm-hmm.
I resented
Mm-hmm.
that.
Mm-hmm.
So I called Coach Drizel and I said, "Coach, I think I might want to come." And he knew I needed to raise my SAT. It's my granddaughter crying.
Oh here. We here.
and he knew I had to raise my SAT score to get, to qualify. So I was actually working a camp out of Villanova. And he found somebody out who worked at Villanova to help me with my SAT testing. So the last time I took it, I scored 1060,
Oh wow.
which is crazy because you can't get up that many
Yeah.
points
That's a
in
jump.
that amount of time. It's a big jump. And so when this coach at Temple found out what I had done, he he told all the schools in the Big Five that I had somebody to take my SAT,
Oh wow.
right? And Alvin, I gotta say this: the only school that I got, and I got, I, I so we didn't have McDonald's All American. We had
Mm-hmm.
Street and Smith.
Okay.
I was a
I
third
remember.
team Street and Smith All American.
Mhm.
Okay. So
Okay,
that was like all parade.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I was a third team Street and Smith All American. I had over 100 offers,
Mm-hmm.
over 100 easily, and the only school I got a rejection letter from
Villanova.
Correct. And so at that point, I said, you know what? I'm out.
Okay.
I'm out. Um, I had
Why?
scored my
Why you?
so
Why you think they rejected?
because of something they heard.
Oh, okay.
Because they thought somebody
Yeah,
took the
they
test.
thought. Yeah, I mean, they thought I actually had somebody take. That's the only thing I could think of.
Right.
Coach Kraft actually thought that I had somebody take my SAT. And the crazy part was how, I love Villanova, man.
Mm-hmm.
I love Howard Porter. I love Tommy Inglesby. I love Sammy Sims and Johnny Jones. I love them dudes, man.
Uh huh.
And plus, my man Wally went there,
Yep.
So when I found out that, them coaches had been talking that smack and sort of kind of conspiring against me and Joe and Mike,
Oh
you know,
wow.
yeah, yeah. So I just said, you know what? I'm gonna just leave. I'm
Yeah.
gonna just leave. Now my Maryland story goes back to there was a dude that I played with in high school who Maryland was recruiting, and we went down there at my sophomore year. They set up an exhibition game for us, and I played in that exhibition game as a sophomore, and that's
Okay.
where in Cole Fieldhouse on the campus of the University of Maryland is where I scored my very first high school varsity point. So I ended up coming back that summer, working at their camp. So I had a relationship with them early on, you
Okay.
know.
Okay.
But
Okay.
I didn't know anything about the ACC. Al,
How
I
was
was
that? How was that league ranked compared to like all the other conferences?
at
The
that
ACC
time
back
like
then.
it was the best league in the country.
Oh, was it? Okay.
So for the 4 years that I was there, Carolina, NC State, and Maryland, we were either one, two, three, four, five, six, or seven. The 4 years that I was there
In the nation.
in the nation,
Damn.
Okay.
in the nation.
Mm.
So like in the ACC, every game. So I appreciate you saying like when you watch that NC State Maryland game, how you could appreciate the maturity that John and I played with.
Uh huh.
But freaking every game was like a big stage game.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like your Big East.
Yup.
We were the predecessors of what you did at Villanova.
Okay.
You
Okay.
okay?
Yup.
Where every game was like a big stage game.
Yeah.
Like
Yup. Yup.
you couldn't go in there saying, well, it's DePaul and we could knock them off. No.
Yeah. Every game was big. Yeah.
Every game was big. And for us, so because all of our games are sold out. Our arena at Maryland, our arena was the second largest arena on the East Coast after the Garden.
Mm.
Oh wow.
We had 14,500 people sold out every game.
Damn.
And then all of our games, all of our home games were on TV, on local TV. So,
Wow.
at that
Wow.
time, the Bullets weren't really that good. It was the Washington Redskins and Maryland basketball, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
uh, we had our way with a lot of stuff. Is she all right? She need a pop out. Okay. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was coming from Philly, and a lot of people have asked that question, right? So the class before me, you know about Andre McCarter? Do you know about
Yes.
Andre McCarter? Okay.
Yes.
Andre McCarter was the last two-time first team All-American from Philadelphia, high school All-American from Philadelphia.
Oh wow. Okay.
No Gene Banks, no Rashid,
Yeah.
none of them. Andre McCarter was the last two-time first-team high school All-American from Philadelphia.
Wow.
Mm.
Wow.
Okay, and
Wow.
so he went to UCLA.
Yeah.
So I played with Andre. Andre's from South Philly.
Mm-hmm.
So we played on the Sunny Hill team together. Heck, my St. Joe's Prep team, my junior year, we played Andre's Overbrook team for the city championship.
So
Okay?
that's how y'all used to do it. Like all the best teams from the leagues would play each other for the city championship.
So the public league champion would play the Catholic League champion for the city championship.
Okay.
All of that state, that PIAA, the, the the city champion was always the best team in the state.
Okay.
Always the best team in the state. Always. It was just a matter of numbers. We had more people.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
the closest city to us should have been Pittsburgh,
Mm-hmm.
because that's like the second largest metropolis in the state.
Right.
But we would play. We go through our playoffs. The public league, they would have their playoffs, and the public league champion would play the Catholic League champion for the city championship. That you talking about bragging rights,
Yeah,
man.
that's it. That's
That
it.
was it.
Did St.
That
Joe's
was
ever win a championship? Did you ever
Huh?
win a city championship?
Nope.
Yeah.
I only played for one. I played for one, and we lost to Andres Overbrook team by 20.
Damn.
By 20. But
Yeah.
he had like all of his dudes played Division 1 basketball.
Okay.
I think I might have had one dude I played with, two dudes that I played with in high school that got to be Division 1 players.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
know.
Hey, so Mr.
You
Howard,
know,
I had a question for you. I wanted to know how to feel playing in the biggest game ever, and what made North Carolina State so significant. What made that the
David
biggest game?
Thompson, brother.
David Thompson.
David Thompson, brother. David Thompson was the greatest player of my era.
yeah.
Yeah. So, Bill Walton played. Bill Walton played like in my era. And UCLA, like y'all don't understand what UCLA was like. Okay,
Yeah.
they had won like 9 NCAA championships. They had several undefeated. Like Duke don't compare to what UCLA did.
Damn.
Yeah.
They don't compare to what they did. And these guys were like, not only. Hold on, I gotta grab my granddaughter.
Yes, he is.
Okay, baby. Okay, baby. You got something for him, Ma? The work is never done.
Never.
It's
Never. That's a
never
good
done.
thing. That's a good
So
thing.
to your point, Fats. Um, like people say, they say like, did you see David Thompson play? And I say, did I see him play? He had his best games against us.
Damn.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
I think for his career, he might have averaged 36 or 38 points a game against us.
Damn.
Wow.
I mean, he will tell you, we brought out the best in him.
Okay.
This dude was. So Lucas is from North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
Lucas is another one. And so, Lucas and I are freshmen, and we're roommates. And he's telling me about this kid from North Carolina that's catching people's jump shots out the air. And, he's doing this and he's doing that. I'm from Philly. I'm like, ain't no dudes from North Carolina playing ball like that. You gotta be kidding me. And then I seen this dude, y'all.
Yeah.
Oh, man, he was something special.
Real deal, huh?
Yeah.
He was ridiculous, man. He was ridiculous.
So
My
when
dad
you,
used to tell me about him.
when you talk about that UCLA team in the 70s, what was so special there? Give us a little bit of that game about that UCLA team.
So we played them twice, right?
Mm-hmm.
We played them out there. They had Walton. Listen to this team. They had Walton. They had Marcus Johnson. They had Dave Myers. Dave Myers was the player of the year after Walton graduated. They had Andre McCarter. They had Richard White. All the guys that I'm naming made it to the NBA.
Damn.
Uh-huh.
Okay, they
Mm-hmm.
were all on one team. It's like 7, 8 of them.
Yeah.
So I think more than anything, like UCLA had that mystique where they ran through their regular season. I think like when Walton played in the game where he made all them shots in a row.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
He
he
made
shot
like 22
20,
out of
20. Yeah, he
22.
shot 21 for 22.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
in a national
In a
championship
national
game.
championship game. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
In a
Damn.
national championship game. So we talking about like guys. Young people don't have any frame of reference for that kind of sustained greatness.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And think about this now. Kareem was not able to play 4 years of varsity. He played 3. When he was a freshman, their varsity won the national championship. He played on the freshman team, and the freshman team beat the national championship varsity team by 40.
Damn.
Okay? If I'm not mistaken, Kareem won 3 NCAA championships, and he was the most outstanding player in all 3.
Damn.
Wow. Wow.
Okay? And to watch this, and then you had a guy like Bill Walton to succeed him,
Mm.
but in between there were a couple brothers, Sidney Wicks and
Okay.
Curtis Rowe. Them dudes, they're the dudes that they beat Villanova for the championship, you
Yep.
know?
Yep.
I mean, it was just a continuity of greatness. Like, all the cast of characters changed all the time, but they maintained a level of success and greatness that, nobody could match.
And John Wooden just oversaw all that. Was he?
Man, listen. So my coach thought he was a great innovator, right?
Uh-huh.
And I played with a guy. I played with 3 guys. Well, I played with 2 guys who were the first high school players to have their high school's jerseys retired in the Hall of Fame.
Mm.
The third guy, he never made it to Maryland, and that was Moses Malone,
Damn.
right? Because we had Moses,
Yeah. He was
we
coming
had
there.
him, yes. And so, the first guy whose jersey was retired in the Hall of Fame was a guy named Tom McMillan.
Okay.
Tom McMillan was not only a great player, he plays in that game that NC State
Mm-hmm.
Maryland game. He
Uh-huh.
plays in that game,
Yep.
and he was a great player. Tom was a Rhodes Scholar.
Oh, wow.
He
Okay.
was the only Rhodes Scholar in the history of the University of Maryland.
Damn.
Wow.
But when Tom left, so let's reflect. Let me step back a little bit. So I went to Maryland in 1972.
Mm-hmm.
In 1966, the ACC had their first black basketball player.
Mm.
Wow.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So 6 years later, it wasn't like they was welcoming us.
Mm.
You
Right.
know what I'm
Mm.
saying?
Yeah.
And so my freshman year at Maryland, so when I was at St. Joe's Prep, I was the only brother on the team.
Mm.
Okay.
When I go to Maryland, I'm playing with 7 other brothers who were all high school All-Americans.
Mm.
And so, we going to North Carolina, we going to South Carolina, and we went to Virginia. I often tell the
How
story.
was y'all treated? I'm sorry. How was y'all treated down
I'm getting
south
ready
playing?
to. I shared this with Ash. I remember going to Virginia the very first time we played at the University of Virginia, and we're coming from the locker room onto the court, and like I feel all of this. I'm thinking it got a hole in the roof or something because I'm feeling all of these droplets. And as we were running onto the court, they were spitting on us.
Damn.
Wow.
They were
Wow.
spitting on us, man.
Wow.
You know. So the way we do that is, we just beat them by 35. You know, we just beat
That's
the
it.
brakes off of them. You know,
That's how you handle
I,
it.
that's how we handled it.
Mm-hmm.
I,
Hmm.
I, so you know, my freshman year, we played the University of Richmond at the University of Richmond, and they had like just opened up their brand new arena, and we're standing there and they're playing the national anthem. And when the national anthem is over, they turn off all the lights and put the spotlight on the Confederate flag.
Damn.
And
Uh,
they started singing Dixie.
wow, wow,
Yeah, man.
wow,
Yeah, man. So
wow.
we beat them by 56. So we
So Mr. Howard, when you hear, and I know I don't want to take up all your time on a
go
Saturday, but
ahead, man. I love this.
when you hear the comparison to today's players and to the older generation, even going back way 70s, 60s, and all the things that you guys had to endure, even off the court,
Hmm.
and then still go out there and perform at a high level, do the things. And let's take all the skill and all that. But when they do the comparison that these players are more skilled, these players are better than, like, what goes, how do you handle that? How do you receive that? What's your thought and what's your mind frame behind all that when you hear that?
Well, I'm gonna tell you, man. The brothers from my era, and you know, once you win that NBA thing, you win that fraternity for life, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, there's still some dudes that I played with in the NBA, and we talk. And you know, the thing that we're most resentful for is the load management piece.
Mm.
Like we can't stand that, man,
Right.
because you know when we played, if you got hurt, you know you were rushing back to play
Mm-hmm.
because you know if you didn't rush back, you could lose your spot,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
which for a lot of us was our real livelihood. We didn't have endorsements and all these other things, man. When we was out there playing, that was everything for us,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So we never thought about taking time off,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
play for the other part, you know.
Yeah. No, for
Um,
sure.
like we're very very grateful and thankful that the brothers could get the kind of money that they're getting,
Mm-hmm.
but we're a little confused as to why they're not saying to us, you know, here's a couple dollars, you know, for letting me walk across your back to this pot of gold.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like Oscar Robertson will never say this publicly, and I don't know if you ever see Oscar Robertson play,
Yeah, I have.
but Oscar Robertson was everybody's idol. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying, Al?
Uh-huh.
He
Uh-huh.
was everybody's idol. And he will never say this. You know, he listened to these people talk about, you know, no disrespect, Westbrook.
Russell
You
Westbrook.
know, I mean, Westbrook is a super duper talent. But to compare him to Oscar Robertson, I think is bullshit.
Damn.
Right.
I
Right.
think it's bullshit.
That's up.
You know, and you said it like he ain't had to deal with the shit that O did.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, back in those days, like um, they treated you like chattel. They treated you like a slave. Like O played for the Royals, and the Royals, you know, they really didn't value who Oscar was, and they tried to tell Oscar, you know, you can't go looking at any other team to make more money. We own you.
Wow.
We own you. And so that is the genesis of the Oscar Robertson rule,
The free
which
agency.
made it easier for
For,
players to move to other teams,
damn.
right? And
Damn.
so, you
That's
know, that man could have lost everything. But so many of the brothers rallied around that it was the groundswell was overwhelming. You know, young people need to know these things.
Yeah.
yeah,
No, for
You
definitely,
sure.
know, they
definitely.
they just like, you know, I get it. Everything happens so fast and the gratification is so instant. But, you know, we and not even yourself, you know, just think of all the stuff that you did, that these dudes think they did. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
did it, and when they do it, they think they're doing something special, but you
Right.
did it 15 years ago.
Right.
Hey,
You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
hey, Mr. Howard. So what was the transition like from going from the college league going to the pros in your era? What was that space like?
Wow. So here's my story. So I was a second round pick.
Mm-hmm.
I was the 32nd pick in the draft. I got drafted by a team who had 11 players who had guaranteed contracts. And as the second round player, I got caught up in the politics, but in the camps, I wore this dude out. I wore this dude out, man. But sometimes they make financial commitments, and you can't overcome that.
Mm-hmm.
But in 1976 was the year of the merger,
ABA, NBA.
ABA, NBA,
Mm-hmm.
and so there were 12 NBA teams. Only 4 teams came over from the ABA. Can you name them, Fats?
No, Mr. Howard. I need your I need your expertise on this, Mr.
I know you do.
Howard.
How about Indiana, Denver, the Nets, and the San Antonio Spurs?
Oh
Damn.
wow.
They're the
Okay.
only full teams that came to the ABA, to the NBA,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So you got 8 teams of guys, 8 teams of proven veterans, guys who were all ABA players who didn't have teams.
Mm.
Those were the dudes that I had to deal with in my training camp, Al.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Killers.
like Moses Malone didn't have a team.
Damn.
Killers.
Moses didn't have a team. Maurice Lucas didn't have a team.
Ah.
Yeah, these dudes. So
Yeah.
you get through the train, and I'm a rook too. I get through the training camp, and I look, and here come dudes, that was all ABA players coming to the
Yeah.
training camp.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, man, this shit is crazy. And so the next year, Al, so we always had, up until this new wave stuff, we always had 12 players on our teams, right?
Okay.
So the 1977-78 season, my last season in the league, they reduced the size of the team. They reduced the size of the rosters from 12 men to 11.
Ah.
Okay?
Okay. Yeah.
So if you didn't have a guaranteed deal, you was out. And then there was no other league. There was no other place to go.
Right. Right.
So that was the genesis of the CBA, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Because what the CBA was sort of kind of like the G League is now.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
You
Yep.
know,
Yep.
you had a lot of dudes that didn't make it, but they still played, and a lot of those CBA teams were related to some NBA affiliate.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't easy.
Yeah, nah, for
It
sure. I can
wasn't
imagine.
easy, but I will say this to you, and as somebody who has played in the league, and I'm gonna swing to this too, about our Black Basketball Hall of Fame.
That's what I
Okay.
was gonna ask you. I want to
Yes.
hear all about that.
And so we have so many great basketball players from our town. Like the names, like you could spend a whole week just unloading names on all of these great players. And in order to make this thing legitimate, we had to have some criteria.
Mm-hmm.
And our criteria is that you should have played in at least one regular season NBA game or
Okay.
ABA game. And I think that's fair enough just to be considered, right? So you know the NBA register, right?
Mm-hmm.
You familiar with that?
The registry?
Yes.
No, I'm not.
So the NBA has a book that they update every year, and it lists every player who's ever played in an NBA game.
Okay.
So you know about it, right?
Okay. Oh, yeah. Yep.
Okay, so what a lot of people don't know, this is the 77th year of the NBA's existence, and there are still less than 500 men who have ever played in an NBA game.
Wow.
Okay?
Wow. You in
I'm
there?
one of them. I'm one of them.
That's right, Mr. Howard. That's
Hell
right.
Feel
yeah.
me?
That's right.
I'm
Yeah.
one of
That's
them.
right. That's right.
Yeah.
That's
And
right.
so in the breakfast conversations that our brothers have in the city, there's a lot of hate for what we're doing because we're not putting in the guys who scored 58 at 60 for Susquehanna, and who scored 70 in the 40 and over. How come they not in the Black Basketball Hall of Fame? And you know what? Like, I don't discredit any of those because I'm a basketball guy and I respect that kind of work. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If you get 50 on somebody, you doing work.
That's right.
Yeah.
I don't care who it is,
That's
you
right.
doing work,
That's right.
right?
That's right.
But in order to legitimize the thing, you gotta make it like everybody can't reach it.
Hey, Mr. Howard, me and Fast was talking today about a certain player, and he was saying what he did in the summertime. I said, far as I know, basketball wintertime sport, man. All that summer stuff is cool. You have people taking vacations.
Listen,
It's a winter sport, man. A little
if
after
you know,
football.
you know. If you know, you know, right?
So Mr.
If
Howard,
you know, you know.
Mr. Howard, so you turned pro and you had the opportunity to play with Pistol Pete Maravich, and you happened to be there when he scored 71 points in the NBA game. Can you give us a little bit of that?
See, there you go, Fats. So that story is Pete scored 68 points in that game,
Damn.
which at that time was the most points ever scored by a guard in the NBA, and Kobe smashed it. Well, no, David Thompson smashed it the end of
So
that
it's
year.
73, right?
He got 73.
Damn.
And then Kobe smashed that with the 81.
On Alvin team,
So
just to put that out there.
the significance of Pete with the 68 was he did all that without 3-point line.
Damn.
It's crazy.
He did all that without 3-point line.
That's crazy.
And in that game, including the coaches, there were 8 Naismith All-Americans in that game.
Damn.
Really?
Yes. Earl Monroe, Bob McAdoo, the coach Red Holzman, our coach Elgin Baylor, Pete, Walt Frazier, Earl Monroe.
Damn.
All of them played in that game.
That's a tough guard game. That's a game full of guards right there.
Yeah, man. That's amazing.
So I'm gonna give you a layup. I'm gonna give you a layup. So you're in the sports bar and people are talking smack, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you say, I bet you a beer that you don't know who the second leading scorer on the team that Pete Maravich scored. The night that Pete Maravich scored 68 points, who the second leading scorer on the team was?
How many you dropped?
12.
Yeah.
Yo, was
Yeah.
nobody getting no shots that game? You know.
Yeah.
So, for me, like, my basketball life, man, has been filled with so many great experiences, right? Playing in that great college game, that North Carolina State Maryland game, like people still say it was the greatest
game ever.
ACC tournament championship game ever.
Yeah.
basketball purists say it was the greatest college game ever played. Now I've seen some great college games since then, but we shot 65% from the field and lost.
Damn.
Yeah, yeah,
And
that's
lost.
crazy.
No
That's crazy.
threes. Yeah, it's crazy.
They went they went into that zone, man. They start playing a little matchup zone.
Listen,
Y'all I was watching. They went to that little zone and they start trapping a little bit out of the zone.
well, you hit on it already. Here we are in the overtime. This is our third game in a row.
I saw it. I saw the
These are
fatigue
like
coming.
this is all the stakes. And you know what's crazy about that game? So, this was my second season. I didn't play that much as a freshman. And so this was my first season where I actually started.
Okay.
And they never ran any plays for me. I
Mhm.
got all my stuff on, making open shots and running passing lanes and picking off passes, getting layups.
Yeah.
I had to manufacture my own offense in order to play.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You
And you
know,
was athletic too, Mr. Howard.
I
Was
had a little
yeah.
bounce,
Mhm.
and
I
you
saw
know,
you ran the shot down, blocked it. They called a goaltender, but
yes, they
I
did.
said
Yes,
I said,
and
damn
you know
man.
what? You know what? This is crazy because there was a guy who was he was the dean of the English department at Villanova.
Okay.
His name was Hank Nichols.
Yeah, the referee.
That's who that was. That's who made that call.
He refereed that game, yup.
He refereed that game.
Yup.
He refereed that game. And for years after I saw him, Al, he would always say, I still say that was a goaltend.
No, that was clean. That
So
was clean.
here's the other shot of that is that Maryland, even though we were in the ACC, we were the northernmost team in the ACC. We were like considered Yankees,
Oh wow. Okay.
So
Okay.
going to North Carolina, you go to North Carolina, and we always said like you can't leave those games to chance. You gotta beat them teams.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You gotta pulverize them
Yeah.
dudes. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Because if it got close, it would always end up in the North Carolinian teams. Oh man, another story before I let y'all go. So we're playing in Clemson, at Clemson, and right behind us is right behind our bench is the it's like they're boosters,
Okay.
and they call themselves ITPAY. I pay 20 a year. That's what they call themselves, right? They're like
Okay.
the boosters.
Yep.
But I called it the nigger section,
Uh-huh.
okay?
How
Because
come? How come?
they sat behind us the whole game and just said, nigga, 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 nigga. And
Really?
so we just called it the nigger section, which was,
Wow,
and I
man.
couldn't figure out, well, I did figure out why they sat those people there,
For
you
that.
know? Yeah, it
Yeah.
was wild. It was
Yeah.
surreal.
Yeah. Can you give me a little bit more on the before we let you go to the Black Hall of Fame?
The Black Basketball Hall of Fame.
Black
Okay.
Basketball Hall of Fame.
So the genesis of it was, you know, we talk about Claude and we talked about, well, T Parham. T Parham was one of our great, great basketball players
Mm-hmm.
in our city. And, let's talk about the demographics first of all. Black people in basketball in Philadelphia was not always the tip of the spear, right? There were, the Irish, then there were the Germans, then there were the Jewish, and then us. Okay, and in the early times, because of segregation and quotas, certain guys weren't allowed to play. They played in the industrial league and stuff like that, but for big money, they couldn't play.
Mm-hmm.
Like a guy like Coach Cheney, whom everybody said should have been in the NBA. He did. He had to go to Bethune-Cookman.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He couldn't go to Villanova, St. Joe's, and Temple. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, in order to commemorate and also to create a narrative for our young people as to who we've been historically in our Philadelphia basketball history, right? So like I mean, you've done a lot in basketball. You went to Interact School, so obviously, um, you are good on both sides of the room.
Mm-hmm.
But we have we have tried to create a space where we not only just recognize black basketball players, but we recognize those members of our community who who were significant in helping. I call it like, they held the door open so we could get through,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like we would not have been able to get through had they not held the door open for us.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking coaches and sports writers, everybody who were the word I guess we use today is allies, like people who really affected our outcome as basketball players. So, in the very beginning, there was such an exuberance to do this, and Del Greco Wilson, Jeff Arnold, myself, Tyrone Thornton, we were sort of kind of the brains behind all of this, and we really didn't have like a clear path. What we wanted to do was we just wanted everybody that's inducted to know that yeah, you are part of a great tradition of Philadelphia basketball, and you guys are the standard. And in doing that, we inducted a lot of the brothers that I personally hold in high regard.
Mm-hmm.
You being one of them, Alvin.
Mm-hmm.
But in addition to you, Aaron McKee and Rasheed Wallace and Lynn Greer and Marty Collins and Flip Murray and all of these dudes. Like I
Mm-hmm.
used to. So one thing you got to know about our town is I'm 70 years old. I knew about you when you were in junior high school, Alvin.
Really.
You know what I'm saying? Cause that's how we got to know everybody.
Mm-hmm.
My old head is a brother named Ray Scott. Ray Scott was the first black um, um, head coach to be named the NBA Coach of the Year. Right?
Oh.
He knows who
Okay.
you are.
Okay.
Like that's how we operated.
Yep.
Like we call it.
His phone
Ah.
died. I want to get it.
Ah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So our young people can know about our past, and also, maybe it'll be a bridge to the future.
Okay.
Maybe it'll be a bridge to the future. Um, it's been a labor of love. We really, really haven't made any money, and I don't think that's not been what's in the forefront for us. Is to create a space where these narratives are told and will continue to be told, and the things that we do for young people. So
Mm-hmm.
one of the big things that we do is the Philadelphia New York thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Did you play the Philly New York
I
game,
never
Al?
played. I
You
never
did
played.
it?
No, I never
Oh
played.
wow! So the Philadelphia New York game started in 1964.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yep.
and it went on for some time. It didn't went away. So about 6 years ago, one of my friends, my contemporary from New York, and in addition to Tiny Archibald, we started to like say, hey, let's bring this back,
Okay.
right? And so the crazy part is with everything being monetized, like it's crazy because people say, well, it's free. What's wrong with it? You know, it's
Mm-hmm.
free. Something's wrong with it because it's free.
Right. Exactly.
um, our mission is free basketball.
Hmm.
It's free basketball. So
Right.
I've leveraged my relationships with some of my very best friends and people who believe in what we're trying to do.
Hmm.
I sold a gazillion T-shirts and sweatshirts and hoodies and stuff like that, trying to trying to have an opportunity to provide experience for these kids. Like going up to New York, man, for some of these kids is a big deal,
Right.
especially in the summertime because they never leave their block.
Hmm.
You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
to get on a luxury bus and to feed these kids, food is a big thing for me too.
Yep.
In the summertime, like like in the wintertime, you know when the kids are going to eat. Mostly when they go to school, they're going to eat. In the summertime, not so much.
Right.
So when they're with us, we feed them so much food, that we know they're going to be cool for that day.
Okay.
If we got anything left over, and they got family members, we give that food to them so they can have something to eat tomorrow and share with their family. That's an important part of what we do, because uh, a hungry child is an angry child. A
For
hungry
sure.
child is an angry child,
For sure.
and it's just little things like that. Like we not. And I tell people, if I'm your competition, you need to step up your game. I'm 70 years old. I love what I do. I love these kids. I want all of them to have the kind of experiences that we've had, Al.
Right.
We know that all of them ain't gonna grab the brass ring, but you know what? We could fake them out and have them thinking they could.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Not for
saying?
sure. It's a
Yeah.
possibility. It's a
Yes, it's a
possibility. Not for
possibility.
sure.
Well, Mr.
So
How,
yeah.
Mr. How,
So
I wanted to say thank you for your service for taking care of all the youth and all the things you've been doing for basketball. Also with the Black Hall of Fame, I just want to give you some appreciation from my seat and tell you thank you and coming out and giving us a little bit of knowledge on the basketball game. I really appreciate you coming out and giving us some of your time.
well, I
Yeah.
I I've known Alvin for some time. He and my son Ashley are pretty good friends. And when Ashley called me and told me that, Al wanted to do this, I called Al. He called me back, and the common denominator. I don't know how old Al is. I'm 70. I said
I'm
that a few
50, 50
times.
I'm 51.
Okay, so we 20 years apart, but we love the same stuff. Like
Yeah.
I haven't sat down with Al and chopped it up nowhere, but it seemed like we know each other, right?
Hmm.
Yep. Yep.
Because we do have something in common: our love for the game,
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
and all the things around the game.
Hmm.
So yeah, this is easy for us. Um, you know, uh, let's meet again. Have some conversation around the Black Basketball Hall of Fame. We'd love to have your input. We're not asking for no money. We're just
Yep.
asking you to be around for our kids so they can see who you are and know that, if it happened to them, if it happened to you, it can happen to them.
Hmm.
Nah, for
We
sure.
need them. These kids need us now more than ever.
Nah, for sure. And I agree with you. I definitely want to link up with you. And we talked about it before as far as how I can support, be a part of it, be a partner with you. However, because it's very, you guys, I'm listening to your story, Mr. Howard, and what you're telling me and the things that you endured and everything coming up through the Sunny Hill League, all the things, we got so many similar paths, but you laid the foundation for us and for myself. And even I'm listening to you, hearing my dad telling me things, and it's all coming full circle. So I appreciate you, man,
Appreciate you,
more
man.
than you ever know, more than you ever know. And it's up to me to make sure I show you and always be there for you whenever you need me, man, because without you, and people like you before that, but without you, man, it ain't no me. It ain't no us. So I really appreciate you, Mr. Howard.
But you know what, man? That makes me feel good. And I hope that y'all were satisfied with my story.
We need more.
Um,
I need more. I need more. Some more Claude Gross, T. Shell stories.
oh yeah, I got plenty of them.
I'll tell you a story. First time I met Claude Gross, Mr. Gross, I was at the Palestra. My dad took
Uh-huh.
me to a Big Five game.
Uh-huh.
And he said, "Yo, I used to score 100 points without that 3-point line. Wilt Chamberlain, I guess did his sister marry Wilt Chamberlain or something like that?
Wilt Chamberlain's sister married Claude Gross.
Yeah. So he was like, I scored 100 points without that 3-point line. You know what I used to do to your daddy? Before the games, I used to give him a piece of paper with a number on it, tell him that's how many points I'm gonna give you tonight. I
Yo,
said, damn, you gonna talk up
yo, man.
my dad ain't disputed. My dad was like, yeah,
Yo, man.
he
Yo,
was bad.
man. I heard some crazy stories about them dudes, including your dad.
But nah, I
Them
appreciate you
dudes was
so much,
wild,
man.
man.
I appreciate it. We definitely gonna get on again,
Yes,
man.
sir.
These conversations. But I
Yes,
love you,
sir.
man. I
I
appreciate
love
you and
you
thank you for
too.
your time.
Thank you for having me on, and we'll meet again.
Yeah,
No, for sure.
thanks, Mr.
Okay?
Howard. Thanks, Mr.
God
Howard.
bless you all. God
Yeah,
bless you all.
you have a good night,
Thank
man.
you,
Thank
man.
you.
All
Thanks
right.
again. Thanks
Have
a
a
lot.
great day.
Yeah, so that was a great segment, man, having him here. And I want me and you to talk a little bit more about why he said that Westbrook could not compare to the Big O. And after listening to him talk and put me in the mind frame of the conditions and the way athletes were treated and the poise that the athlete back then had to control himself with all these attempts to make them behave in an erratic way, just to control yourself in them environments where he said they called him names and they spit on him. And now you got to go out and perform. So when I think about the separation in today's athlete versus yesterday's athlete, I think he gave me a clear understanding why somebody would say Russell Westbrook could not hold Big O's jacket. Like it's just, I'm clear with that now when you set the conditions along with the athletes. So I'm glad he shared that with us, and it gave me a perspective of what those younger guys older guys had to go through. I mean, we what 30, 40 years removed from that time. That's not that far of a space. So I'm glad he gave us that. He helped me with that in my mind, and I just wanted to pass it to you and hear what you're saying on that, Al.
No, I'm right with you, cuz it's amazing when you do a lot of comparison and you hear these naysayers and these media outlets and they compare this that with greatness, and it's such a different world that we live in and the athletes today live in than guys like Mr. Howard lived in and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Oscar Robertson and all these guys. Man, it's just like once you're on the court, no wonder they wanted to play all the time because outside was such a terror. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, get on the court, that's the easy part. But it's really no comparison when you just talk about, because it's not just basketball, it's life. And me and you talked about it before. Once you're a pro athlete or you commit yourself to something, that doesn't turn off. When you sleep, you that. When you wake up, you that. When you go to the store, you that. And you have to face that. And I just feel like I agree with you 100%, man. The comparison and all of those things to the modern athlete, to the past athlete is not even fair. It's not comparable. But once again, I'm just thankful to have that knowledge. I'm thankful that we were able to bring Mr. Howard and his stories and his experiences and his memory with all of these things to our audience, to us and our audience. So we're going to continue to look forward to even interviewing more people that have more of those experiences, and well as connecting and keep the balance with the younger kids and just bringing it all together, bring a community together where the respect level is for everybody, and